We are live. Awesome. Nice to see you guys. Let's switch this off. Okay, welcome to every one of you. I just want to keep my notes open, so I have my laptop here. Who all are here? Let me have a look. Hi, Pooja. Pooja is here. Lamar is here. If you're here, let me know. We'll take a few moments for YouTube to let everyone know that we are live on YouTube. Today we're going to have a very powerful topic, and this is something I stand by very, very strongly. Hi Puran, nice to see you again. Puran was there even for the Facebook Live. Nice to see all of you. We have 21 people now. Hi Raja Lakshmi, nice to see you. Hi Neelam. If you're here, just let me know in the comments. Just say hi. I'd like to meet you all, hang out with you, know who you are. Sibi, Steve, Steffi, Anu, nice to see you guys. Nice to see all of you. Today we'll have a training. We will have a training on the topic of long-term goals, why it's important. I'm gonna do a little coaching, and coaching is not always pleasant. You know, sometimes you're gonna shake people up, but we need to have like a weekly shake up so people don't get too comfortable, right? Nice to see you guys. Digvijay, Neha, XYZ Crazy, Carlos. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys. So today's training is going to be on a topic of long-term goals. If you have a goal to achieve, you want to become somebody, you want to do something, you want to achieve something, we're going to look at long-term goals and why it's important. Again, it's a training, so if you're going to ask me questions, I won't be able to take the questions because I want to focus on the training that I want to give you guys today. Okay, all right. So we'll wait another. What is it? We'll wait another maybe three minutes before we start before we start today's training. Srujana, this is not a Q&A, but the topic we're going to discuss today is going to help you. Okay, if you want to be a celebrity, an actress, whatever you want to be, it's going to help you today's topic. Okay, now you're going to say law of attraction. Law of attraction works well with law of action. Let's mix the two and let's look at long-term commitment to your goals versus instant results, why it's important. Thank you. Yes, I'm sitting downstairs today, so you can see I have some plants. This is open to the sky, so the rain falls, and that's why we have these things to pull it down if the rain gets too much. We're downstairs, I'm on my couch. Okay, so today no questions. Today no questions. We are just going to do a training on the importance of long-term goals. So if you're looking at understanding why I talk more about consistency and goal-oriented behavior instead of instant magical results, if you're interested to understand what the foundations of success in anything you're doing is, then stick around. If you otherwise, don't worry, you know, this is not a Q&A. We'll do maybe a Q&A next week or so. So today's not a Q&A. I'm not going to answer any questions. I will just give you a training that I think is super important for people of our world. Okay, so the training, like I said, is on long-term goals. Now, many of you may have noticed that as you know, a YouTube channel, I have many different facets of achievement that I talk about. So I have something for everybody. We have, you know, mindfulness for self-mastery, you know, mastery of mind and emotions and behavior and focus. We also have goal-oriented behavior, so we talk about motivation, talk about, you know, consistency, we talk about working hard, building skills, having a schedule, doing your morning routine. So we talk a lot about creation from a place of like law of not just your mental and metaphysical energy, but also your physical energy. And at the same time, I give a few tools like, your 2 cup method, or whatever other methods that, law of attraction methods that put you in a good energy space for receiving your creation. So there are three ways in which I give this to you. But many of you may have noticed that, and if you attend my live videos, you notice that I talk more on building a strong foundation for success than on magical instant results, right? Like, I don't do spells on this channel. I don't talk about magic, Wicca. um, I don't talk about things like that for a reason. Now, yes, when you do the 2 cup method, or you do the 55x5 method, or any method, including magic, Wicca, black magic, whatever you guys use, I don't know, I won't judge. But whatever you guys use, yes, they have powers. Of course they do. They have powers. You can, with the money technique of smelling the money, all of that, you can attract money. Yes, you will. With the 2 cup method, you can attract what you want. And I got results from that, because when I did the 2 cup method, I was just playing around. Like, I'm not into the whole instant results kind of thing as a person, because I love to build foundations and build strong, future proof success. I'm not into the whole instant stuff, and I'll tell you why. But yes, that stuff works and it's good. If you're looking for like instant cash to pay off your bill or something, go for it, use it. That's why I teach this stuff on the channel. When you need instant stuff, great, go for it. Go for the 2 cup method. Whatever method you want to use that as a tool. Okay, that's fine. But don't depend on these things for long-term foundational success. Now, I'll help you understand that a little bit more. So most of you at this point would, I guess, if you've seen me for a long time, you see that I have certain values about how I approach certain things and why I approach them this way. And one of the main things is I work on foundational success. Foundational success is long-term success, and not just little bursts of money here, and then after that you're broke, and then after some time you do 2 cup method and make a little money there, and you don't have a steady stream of ever growing income, right? So my value is based on steadily growing yourself as a person, building strong, unshakable foundations as a person, that you don't have to depend on a 2 cup method, or depend on something else, or a lottery, or whatever, or the stock market. You don't have to depend on luck, or a tool, or a spell, or a whatever you use to keep giving you results. You don't have to depend on it. You can actually just create results based on the foundation that you've built. Now, there is this trend that is going around, and I think it's probably been there since humans existed, and that is this trend of wanting instant results easily. And yes, you can manifest instantly. All of that is great. I don't refute that. I talk about it. I teach some methods to those who need that. But here I want to stress the importance of building a long-term success plan, whether it's in your career, in your relationships, in your finances, in your investments, in whatever you are trying to build, an abundance in, right? We want that to be a long term. So I want you to think about this for a second, okay? And I want you to answer this. If you are somebody who, is always dependent on some tool to help you cope with something. Let's say you're dependent on some tool to help you cope with negativity, or some tool to instantly manifest some money, or instantly manifest whatever you're looking to manifest. If you're dependent on that, okay, you will always need to come back to that to give you some result. There's no independent creation you're doing. You're always dependent on somebody, something, some tool, to help you get the result that you want. Now, I want you to look. Yes, okay, so stock market is not luck. I'm just saying that a lot of people who get into it in the beginning, they hope for the best. It is something that you can build and learn and grow into foundations of. But I'm talking not in terms of the foundation of stock market. I'm talking about the people who just get into it. Like, I remember in my family, I had somebody who got into this whole stock market thing lost so much money and they didn't know anything that they were doing because they thought they would get like this instant result from it. I'm talking about that. But yes, it is something you can build long term. But what I'm trying to say is that uh, okay, I lost my trail of thoughts suddenly. But I want you all, oh yeah, I got it. So I want you all to let me know in the comments. In your life, would you want to be somebody who is sleeping on someone else's couch, renting a spot in somebody else's house? Or do you want to be somebody who wants to have their own palace, their own kingdom, their own house? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be somebody dependent on somebody else for the rest of your life, so renting a couch in someone's house? Or do you want to have your own house? I want you to think about this question very strongly, because just let me know in the comments, what kind of person are you? Do you want to forever depend on somebody else, or have your own house that you control your own house? You paid for it, everything is fine, right? You don't rent, you have your own kingdom, right? The amount of freedom that brings you, right? You want to be independent. So everyone wants to be independent, but yet most people don't want to do the work to become that independent, right? So there's like this trend that is happening everywhere. Like if you go on Facebook or you go to Instagram, you have all these marketing gurus, teachers who will come and tell you, do this strategy and or do this Facebook marketing or do this particular marketing, and you're gonna make all these sales. And so most people are focused on these instant strategies of making sales, not understanding that a business, finances, or your career or health, whatever you're working on, actually for it to sustain in the long run, not just instant sales, instant feeling better, for you to sustain that health, for you to sustain that wealth, for you to sustain the independence that you can create your own economy, regardless of who's sitting in the White House or who's running the world. Regardless of all that, if you can create your own economy, you always have independence and freedom. But when you're depending on a 2-cup method, or you're depending on something else to give you that result, you are kind of like renting a space in someone else's house instead of building your own house. Okay, so now let's look at what it means to build your own house. Okay, you can build a little shack, or you can build the Burj Khalifa. That's up to you. If you want instant, you can build a small little shack which may have a little bit of water running and all that. But if you're looking at building the Burj Khalifa, okay, which is the tallest building in the world, how do you think they built the Burj Khalifa? Did they just have an outline? What is the first thing they did when they built the Burj Khalifa? Can you guys tell me? Which is the tallest building in the world. Let me know. What is the first thing they did when they built the Burj Khalifa? Did it happen overnight, instantly? Did it become, yes, planning? What else did they do? They planned it. That was good. Okay. They had a plan. So planning is very different from 2-cup method, right? Planning you are creating a long-term skeleton of it. But what else is important? Yes, correct. Foundation, correct. Forget planning, belief and all that. You could have a plan, you could have belief, right? You could even have the skeletal structure of the Burj Khalifa, but it will fall down if it does not have a strong foundation. So if you go and study how the Burj Khalifa was made, I was there not during the Burj was made, I was there a couple of months ago at the Burj Khalifa. And when I was at the Burj, if for those of you who've been there, they show you the whole like story of how it was built, so when you're actually going on the elevator up to, I don't know which floor it was, way up, not to the top, but way up where there's like a balcony and then you look down. If you actually go there, they show you the whole journey of how the Burj was built, and the Burj was not built overnight. If you see the first things they did apart from planning was they created a foundation. Okay, and they had focus. Now I'm not putting down spells, and I told you can use 2-cup method. Do it. You need some cash to pay or something while you're working on your goals. Do it, man. take the liberties, enjoy your creation process, but don't depend on that for your long term recurring results, right? So you can be somebody who can build strong foundations in everything, for money also, relationships. And when I say relationships, I don't mean getting back to your ex who treated you badly and blocked you all over the internet. Not that relationship. I'm talking about building a foundation in the kinds of relationship you want, which means working on yourself, loving yourself, getting out of your own negative programming, putting yourself out there, right? When you take long term action, with commitment and consistency, you can demand, you become independent of your environment. Where people, when you build yourself, there is no dearth of number of people who want to be with you or marry you or have relationships with you. You don't have to be the most beautiful girl in the world or the most handsome man in the world. You don't have to have, cars and bikes, and you don't need that flashy stuff. When you build you from within you, as a strong version of you, where you don't depend on someone else to give you your love, because you're independent, you have your own kingdom, you're not renting your sense of love from somebody else. You have your own kingdom, which is long term, built over time. It's not to give me a spell today, by tomorrow morning that I'm just going to be okay. I want you to understand how important it is to dig a foundation for your life, because once you build a foundation of your own sense of worth, then you have your own kingdom, and you don't have to beg people to love you and beg people to block you off WhatsApp and do methods and spells to try to get your ex back, because you're better than that. You have reached a point where you are so in peace with yourself that you attract people who you can share yourself with, as opposed to trying to get them to acknowledge you and love you and all the mess that they call love these days, right? So that is in terms of love. Now if you want, in terms, let's say, in terms of your health, right? You've got to understand that health, again, you have to think about having a shack or having the Burj Khalifa. Which would you like? Would you like to feel good this week, or would you like to feel good over time, better and better and better over time, so that you don't have to depend on doctors, you don't have to depend on medicines, you don't have to depend on certain techniques and tools to make you feel healthy. You just have the foundations of good health, so health is recurring and bettering every week. This is called being independent, right? Having a strong foundation of health, strong foundation in wealth, right? Like in business, like I said, a lot of people will go to marketers or marketing gurus, or outsource your marketing to somebody without learning how to market yourself. If you're a business owner and you're outsourcing your marketing to somebody else, not understanding how to do it yourself, you are renting a house in somebody else, renting a room in somebody else's house. You don't have your own kingdom. If you're somebody who's depending on Facebook ads, or you're depending on YouTube channel, or you're depending on your Facebook group or your Instagram to build your business, you've lost the game. Because tomorrow Instagram can shut down, Facebook can shut down, Google ads will go 50 times more expensive. And now what happens? Now you can't afford that, or the medium that you were depending on, the room that you were renting no longer exists. Now what are you going to do with your business, right? Same way with skills. If you're somebody who's depending on an income, salary to get your money, and not working on building yourself as your skills, building your own ability to sustain yourself, what happens when your company shuts down, right? We've seen so many cases of people who worked for a company for like 35 years on a payroll, and the company just closed, and then now they don't have any income source anymore, because they never built themselves into the person that could command their own economy. This is why I talk about skills, right? Like a lot of people want to do 2-cup method or whatever instant method to get a job, and that's great. Do that. If you need a job, do it. Fantastic. I have no qualms about it. But in the meantime, you should also be focused on building yourself, so that your industry demands your skills, as opposed to you asking your industry to give you a job. Anybody, if you build your skill, let's say you started working on your communication, you started working on your work ethic, you started working on reading something about your industry. Let's say you want to work with the government, or you want to work in IT, or you want to work in architecture, whatever, and you start studying more about your field every day, you start hanging around with successful people in your field every day, that develops you as a person who is worthy of now being picked up by your industry, because you're no longer competing with the other guys who've only got like certain education but no actual, like, no value of person. Like, see, the only way you can make money, well, okay, let's not say the only way, but the foundational way of making money is, one, you should be really good at what you do. Okay, whatever job industry you're applying for, work on gaining knowledge, work on gaining skills. You don't have to gain skills on the job. Try to find alternate ways to gain skills. Build your confidence. Work with groups. Maybe you have a locality, where you live, and they are organizing some event. Put yourself and organize it. Help organizing it. Go up on stage, create a little event in your neighborhood. Do something where you're taking an initiative and building your skill, right? There's nothing stopping you from achieving what you want, right? The only thing that's stopping you is your ideas of what is possible and what is not possible. But everything is possible, right? So working on your skills every day. You want to be an actress? Work on your acting skills every day. Don't just go for lessons, but work on it mentally, emotionally, physically. Like, put yourself. So when you do audition, people will see something very magical within you, because you're not only working physically, you're working mentally with your metaphysical energy. It's the invisible stuff, right? But you're also working physically to develop your skill. So this combination is, so even if you don't get that job, or you don't get that movie, or you don't get whatever, you're still in the process of building your value. So eventually you will get that job, you will get that money, you will get that career, you will, because you're building yourself up to that person. Now in the meantime, as you're doing that, have a second job, do whatever you need to, but always work on your foundation to creating something that will be recurring for you so it's like this. If you're really good at what you do, you'll keep getting industry requests. People will keep trying to hire you. This is recurring. It would not stop, because you have a reputation. You're doing well. You can put yourself out on YouTube. You can put yourself out on YouTube, talk about your field, talk about architecture, whatever, and then put that up on your LinkedIn, and people can see your LinkedIn contacts will see, and you can get a better job. Even if you just spend a little bit time on your own confidence and put up a cool blog and put that up on LinkedIn, someone will see it and give you a job. You see, there are so many options for you. You just have to build slowly the foundations of it, right? So I wanted to tell you a little story, okay? So this is a story that I heard in the marketing course that I'm part of, which is, I stand by this marketing course, this group, with my heart and soul and my life. I pledge to it. It's the 4%. You guys know about it. I talk about it. Vic Strazius is our mentor. He talks, so in the 4%, we talk a lot about like foundations, and yes, we use a lot of visualization, we use a lot of energy, but we also work on branding, and we also work on developing a relationship with our audience. Like, for example, Kylie Jenner, right? Kylie Jenner was like one of the first people of her age to hit 1 billion or whatever, cross $1 billion in turnover. Now, it's not the product that Kylie Jenner sold that got her all of that money. It's not the product. She could have backed up any product and made that much money. For example, I think it was Cardi B who launched a clothing campaign, I think a couple of days ago, and she crossed like 30 million in a couple of hours or days or something. So it's not the clothing line that got her that money. It's not Kylie Jenner's whatever lip makeup that got her that money. Yes, the product was good. You must have good products, good services. But the reason why any of these guys, whether it's The Rock, Kylie Jenner, Cardi B, Rihanna, Mariah Carey, whoever these guys are, it's not the product that they back up, but it's the fact that they have a relationship with their audience. It's called warm marketing, right? They built a foundation that they have a relationship with their audience. They can back up any product and the product would sell because their audience, their fans connect to them, right? That is called foundational success. If the Rock, Dwayne Johnson, right, was not The Rock and he came on YouTube, he wouldn't have like instant success, right? But he became The Rock because he worked hard. He built that foundation, WWF, WWE, and then whatever, and then he became Dwayne Johnson. Now we all recognize him as The Rock. Now he could back up any product and it would do well because people trust him as an entity, as a character that they relate to, right? The charisma. It's called in marketing. The word I forget is called the attractive character. Okay, so basically it's a foundation. People buy from people. People don't buy products. People buy from people, right? So building that strong foundation, nurturing your audiences, like for example, some of your coaches, entrepreneurs, start writing blogs, doing YouTube, start doing something where you put yourself out there, talk to people, get out, network, and that relationship you build then becomes a foundation for your industry, for your career, for your whatever that you're looking at building. In terms of health, it would be your working on yourself, your self-love, your meditation, your nutrition. All of that is foundation. There is no tree that gives you the most beautiful flowers and the most beautiful fruits on the day that you planted it, right? So you want to look at long term, because long term gives you freedom. Short term is very, it's great, use it, but don't depend on it, because if you depend on short term success and short term bursts of money and then it's dry, and then you don't invest it properly, you just use it up, you're just renting a room or a couch in someone else's house. You want to look at independence in the form of building a strong foundation. Don't be somebody who's interested in 24-hour magic or 24-hour results. Look at somebody who's like, you know what, I think it was I forget his name, but it'll come to me. He said, one of very famous motivational speakers, whose name just flashed by my head right now, but I can't remember. Les Brown, yes. Les Brown said that if you had a bad day, on the foundational path of success, if you had a bad day, don't call it a bad day, but call it a character building day, right? Your attitude is so important in building foundational success, because you can depend on these small little strategies here and there, but if you're not creating a foundation, you will work your whole life and only create a small shack on in the forest somewhere instead of the Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa took vision, took planning, took foundation, took consistent action. The Burj was not made overnight, right? So a lot of people ask me, like, why are you not just teaching us magical stuff, instant stuff, spells, give me a way to get back to my ex? The reason I don't do that is because I understand that a human being is of infinite value. And for you to become of infinite value, you have to be like that pebble that gets you get polished and polished and polished. It doesn't show up overnight. And when you allow yourself to get polished, you become this beautiful shining stone. And the beautiful shining stone will never settle down for anything less than beauty. I know that when you're like, when you attach to your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, you'll do anything to want to get them back, and you can't even imagine a new person, because that's where you're vibrating at. But when you become someone who's shining like a diamond, who would never let anyone treat you less than what you deserve, you would never go back to the people who hurt you. You would never do that. You would not allow your chemical addiction to them hold you back from achieving and experiencing the most beautiful form of love, which starts within you. Foundation is within you, not somebody else come and give me love. It don't work like that. Don't rent a home, don't rent a couch in someone else's heart. Okay, have your own kingdom and share your kingdom with someone else. You should be two, like in relationships, it should be king and queen, period. It should not be jester or servant boy, servant girl with the king. Giving away your power to all these people. They block you on WhatsApp, they hurt you, you're trying all kinds of methods to attract them back. Please give me your attention. This is not what you should be doing. You want to be a king and queen in your own right, so you attract a king and queen of your own magnitude. Don't ever settle down. I'm telling you, it hurts my heart. This is why I don't do videos on getting your ex back, because I know you all had an amazing relationship. I know you loved each other, but there's a reason why he's your ex or she's your ex. There's something that's misaligned. Why go back to that? Why not work on creating yourself to the point where you don't need anybody? You fill your own gap. And as you are enjoying your life, doing your life's purpose, living a grandiose existence, you think there'll be a dearth of people. They'll keep coming to you, and then you can choose who you would like to share yourself with, instead of begging people to love you. Because life is not about begging people for money, begging your job, begging people to give back money, begging people to give you a job. No, you're not a beggar. You're a king. You're a queen. Become that person. Okay, so I'm gonna end it with one small little story. Okay, and I know that the things I teach, a lot of people don't like it. I know I got a lot of haters. I know that. Okay, but I stand strongly with what I have to share, because this is the path I chose, and I want to speak to other people who may choose the same path as me. And not all of you would choose that, I know. And I know I will push a lot of buttons, but this is just for those who resonate with this kind of work. And if you don't resonate with it, I would be totally happy and not at all hurt if you find some teacher who resonates with you. Go with teachers and coaches whose message touch you. If you don't like a teacher's message, instead of hating them and spreading hate comments on their videos, because it only shows that you're hurt equals hate. Okay, hurt people hate people. All right, so instead of hating on people, just don't listen to their message and find teachers who reflect what you would like to learn. So don't be offended with my way of talking and the way that I say. If you don't like it, there are plenty of teachers who would be perfect for you. Okay, so I would never take it personally if you left Synchro Shakti for some other teachers, because this is just how I teach, and I wouldn't. This is just my values, and I want to teach it this way. So I'm going to leave you with a story. So I was talking about the 4%, right? And in the 4%, there is a video that we had to study. And the 4% is the marketing course that I am a part of. So for those who are, coaches, anybody who needs marketing for their company, service, product, whatever, just hit me up on my email and I'll send you a link to join the 4%. I pledge my life to it. It's one of the most powerful marketing courses I think the only powerful marketing course in this world. It's fantastic. So anyway, this in the course, Vic, who is our trainer, he gave us this video of this guy. I forget his name, but he is the current CEO or owner of Success Magazine. And Success Magazine is, so Napoleon Hill, right? Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill, he used to be the owner of Success Magazine way back in time. And now there's this other guy who is the owner of Success Magazine. So this guy was on a plane and he was, flying business class, and he saw this other guy next to him. So he ended up having this conversation with the guy next to him. And the guy next to him was like, we come from, we used to be really poor, but then we became rich. So he's like, okay, tell me more about your story. How did you become successful? So he talks about his grandfather. And his grandfather is a centenarian, right? A centenarian is someone who's hit 100 years old. So his grandfather was a centenarian, and during his grandfather's youth, they were completely poor. Like this 100-year-old man, when he was young, he was completely poor. They had no money, no education, no degree, no job. Their family used to live in the basement of someone else's family, right? So they really had no options in life. So when this guy started studying the foundations of success, studying the principles of success, he ended up mastering it to a point where he went from no money, complete poverty, to being one of the richest men in the world, right? So this guy, Success Magazine owner, he was really interested, and he's like, hey, I'd like to interview your granddad. Can we interview him? And he's like, no, I don't think so. He's a really private man. But then, he's like, okay, if I interview him and I get this information, I can teach it to other people who then might be able to improve their circumstances. So somehow they agreed, and this man goes to the house of the 100-year-old rich man. And he goes and he sees this huge mansion, and he sees this amazing wooden door, and you can see that it's a house of wealth. And he goes inside and he asks this, so he sees that the 100-year-old man is there, and he greets him, he sits down, and he asks the man, he's like, when I spoke to you on the phone, I asked you to pull down all the 100 years of wisdom that you've gained, to write it all down in some books. So did you do that? And he's like, yeah, I took all the 100 years of wisdom that I had gathered on success, and I wrote it down. So he's like, okay, where are the books? I don't see anything. I don't see where the books you've written, because I'd imagine that if you put down 100 years of wisdom in a bunch of books, I mean, there'd be a lot of books, right? Because 100 years of wisdom you're condensing into some, you're writing it out. It'll be a lot of books. So he's like, well, I've written it down, but I have it here. And so he takes out the small, tiny chit of paper. And the man is like baffled. He's like, 100 years of wisdom only in one tiny sheet of paper? Something you can read in 30 seconds? How does that make sense, right? So he basically takes that sheet of paper and he reads it. And what's written in that sheet of paper was the foundation of success that I'm going to share with you right now. So, which is why the 4% is so cool, because we get to learn stuff like that in the course. So what is written on that sheet of paper? For those who are looking at success in anything, health, wealth, anything, okay, pay attention. What was written on that piece of paper was, to be successful in anything, in any area of your life, only a few things matter. Only a few things matter to be successful in anything, whether it's stock market, whether it is mindfulness, whatever it is, okay? And those few things is, do your research, find out what are the key things that help in achieving that result, and then, okay, find out what those small key things are, which is there. And anything you want to achieve, there's no lack of knowledge. You can study it anyway, you can Google it, you can YouTube it. There is take the key points, what I need to do to be successful in that thing, okay? And then stick to those key points. Stick to those key points, those small things, and then master those small few things. Now, this will blow your mind, because what do? We do our research, we get the information of what we need to do, but do we stick to it? No. The moment something else comes, we jump on that. We never stick to anything or master it. So this guy asked the 100-year-old, how did you master it? So he's like, see, I was uneducated. So when I learned the secrets of wealth, or the secrets of success, which, by the way, all of you know, there's no dearth of knowledge. It's all there. I've made 300 YouTube videos on it. You have, billions of videos on YouTube on it. There is no dearth of knowledge. Just take whatever key insights, right? He's like, I was uneducated, so I didn't think I was smart enough. So whatever information I got, I stuck to it, and I did it again and again and again and again. And in 100 years of constantly repeating those few things, he's like, I didn't think I was good. I didn't think that I was intelligent enough, because I was uneducated. So I assumed I was stupid. And because I assumed I was stupid, I didn't try to change anything. I didn't try to learn 500,000 other things. I just took these small little principles, and I consistently did those small things. I didn't jump to new courses. I didn't jump to other teachers. I didn't jump to 500 new videos. I just took those 1, 2, 3 key points, and I stuck to it, and I mastered it again and again and again. And that's how I got successful. Now, what do? If you're trying to get health, we'll do 500 different things. Today we do the thing, tomorrow we do something else. We never stick to it. We never master it. We never build a foundation. We are always looking for instant results. The next thing promises this result, so we jump at that. And we never master anything. Which is why the guys who I think it was Earl Nightingale who says this. Everyone starts off wanting to be successful. Everybody is like super interested, super committed. At age 25, eyes are blinking, wow, right? You're all ready for it. But by the time they are 60, only 1% of them would have actually achieved it, and the 99% would have failed, because the 99%, instead of mastering whatever it took to be committed and stay focused on that, they went and jumped and hopped. It's like the monkey mind, right? The new opportunity, the new video, this YouTuber, that YouTuber, this trainer, that trainer, this event, that event, not even mastering a single thing that you learned in any of these events or with any of these people. So we continued going 30, 40 years in the future, still trying our best luck, not having mastered even one thing that was taught to us, right? Jack of all trades, master of none. Right? This is such a fantastic thing to think about. So for those of you, who put a lot of hate comments on my videos and say, oh my god, she just wants to make money. Well, I do need money if I have to serve you guys. I can't do business for free, in the sense that I have business expenses, systems expenses, internet, electricity. For me to do my job, I have to have money, otherwise I would not be able to do what I'm doing right now. So it's not like I'm some money hungry, power hungry, mad person, as a lot of people believe I'm not. But a lot of people say this, why do you use these, instead of 24-hour results, you're talking about this, or you're talking about this, and 24. You gotta understand that I teach what I'm teaching is consistent. I will never tell you to go back to an abusive relationship. I will never tell you that instant results is the foundation. No, I would always tell you to work on building a strong foundation. Always remember, Burj Khalifa. Do you want to be a Burj Khalifa in your industry, or with your health, or with your relationships, the best of the best of the best of the best, or do you want to have a shack? You choose. Really, it's your choice. And that is basically it. That is my message for today. Okay, I hope that it helped you understand that yes, you can use whatever instant methods you want, but don't depend on them for long-term success. Because if you depend on the economy, or you depend on a particular company, or you depend on Facebook, or you depend on something else to give you stability in life, or you depend on somebody else's love to give you stability in life, the moment they start acting weird, or they block you, or they don't give you love, you will fall down, because you don't have a foundation. The moment Facebook stops, or Instagram stops, or something else happens, and you don't have your own website, you don't have your own home on the internet, and you basically just focusing on some other thing, then the moment that stops, again you fall down, because you don't have a foundation. You're dependent on some 2-cup method, which works, but you're dependent on that, on money, and then one day the job that you manifested stopped, you got kicked out. Now you fall because you don't have foundation. You've got to work on foundation. This is why I teach courses. Why do I teach courses? I cannot help you build a foundation on YouTube. I can help you build a foundation with step-by-step foundational training, right? So every time I mention my courses, I don't do it for me. I don't gain anything from my courses. I already know this information, but you can gain something, right? I think if you're looking into step-by-step foundations, don't look at free information. You can look at free information, but if you're looking at really building foundations, go deep, dive deep, invest in yourself. I think there was somebody who emailed me saying, oh yeah, by the way, this might be one of some of you guys, you might relate. Someone emailed me saying, I want to teach me how to build financial abundance. So I said, okay, I have XYZ courses. It teaches you the whole, 6 weeks, 10 weeks. You can study it. It gives you all that you need. And then he reverted back saying, how can you teach me about financial success and abundance? The words he is looking for is abundance, financial abundance, but teach it to me for free. So you understand where the issue is. I don't care about the money that you're giving me. You're not giving me any money. You're paying an exchange of value. You're only getting back more than what you're paying. But you understand the issue was, he wants financial abundance, but he wants it to learn it for free. Where is that energy coming from? Somebody wants stuff for free. Is that energy of somebody who's in the vibration of abundance, or is that energy of somebody who is stingy with their money? They don't want to invest, they don't want to study deeper, they don't want to put out some value to gain some value. So when you're looking at things for free, what are you doing? You're again depending on something else. You're not investing in a foundational future. Okay, what you get, what you pay for, right? And if you try to study anything for free, after the first hurdle, when your mind tries to go back to its original, because you didn't pay anything for learning that information, you will never use it to the fullest ability. So what I'm trying to say to you is, think about your foundation. Look into investing in a foundational future instead of instant results. Give me free, give me answer now. Look at foundations. Okay, because when you work on yourself, when you do a course, you've got to study, you've got to work, you've got to dig deep, you've got to do the work, you've got to get in the trenches and build your Burj Khalifa. If you're watching a free YouTube video, you're going to listen to the message and that's it. You have no structure. After that, you'll go on, watch Game of Thrones, get into drama, whatever. You've lost your foundation. There's no foundation, right? So you've got to look into long-term success instead of instant, give me the answer now, give it to me free, give me a spell that changed my life, or give me 24-hour magic. Hey, 24-hour magic is great, but it's not a foundation for long-term success where it's 24 hours, 7 days a week, every day for the rest of your life. You've got to think long-term. Okay, that is the game, that's the strategy. Okay, I'm going to leave you at this. Let me know in the comment section, was this of value? Did you guys get back something? If it was, what is your takeaway today? Just let me know. What did you take back from today's almost 50-minute conversation that we had? What did you take back today? Awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. Yes, I'm telling you, if I had not, like all the students who got great results from their mentors, for example, okay, there are very few people who will do the work. Only 2% of the population will do whatever it takes. The rest of them have to be motivated by paying for the course. You are not, most people are not part of the 2%. Out of the 100 people who are watching, only 2 people will do whatever it takes if it's free. The rest of them need a form of motivation. That is why mentors, coaches only take, even gurus, they only take a select kind of people up in their tutelage, right? Most people need something, like in case of like my students, right, we've got 100, 160, all these guys who have completely managed to have abundance, health, wealth, all of that they had for, I mean, they paid for a course that gave them the step-by-step to getting that. Had they not paid for it, they wouldn't have gone through the grit of it and actually got the results. So did I do them a disservice for charging for the course? Right? Of course not. I did them the greatest service, because if I not charged for it, they wouldn't have taken it seriously and they wouldn't have actually got the results, because they wouldn't have sat with it, because the mind has a way of always putting you back in your old habits until you have something to motivate you to get up and do the work, you know. Practices. I'm doing Zara says, I'm studying the mindfulness course and it's giving me amazing results. See, so many of our mindfulness students, talk to the students, right? Awesome, great. A lot of people are talking about the mindfulness course. It's a fantastic course. AdRock also is in the mindfulness course. Fantastic. Many, see, that's another thing, okay? I wanted to kind of clear the air. So every time you see hate comments on my videos, for example, you'll see that not one of them is an actual student of mine. None of them have actually studied in any of my circles or courses. Why? You have to strongly understand the kind of people who would sit and throw hate on other people versus the kind of people who would actually use that energy to work on themselves and become better are two different kinds of people, right? Foundational success. I want you to look into this. Foundational success. Okay. Where are the links? You can just go to Synchro Shakti Academy. Yeah, stick to the basics. I like that. synchroshaktiacademy.com to find some of the courses. Okay. I can't respond to your comments because there's so many going on and I'm not checking them. Okay. But if anyone wants to know more about all of this stuff, if you have questions, you can always email me at contact@synchroshakticoaching.com. contact@synchroshakticoaching.com. I check that inbox every day, okay, except on Saturdays because that's my holiday. But I check that inbox every day. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, except trying to attract your ex back and trying to attract a crush. These are two areas I will not touch. You guys already know I don't want to do that. So apart from this stuff, you can ask me anything else. Okay. Yes. Mindfulness is always the strongest foundation for any success. Anything. You always need a foundation of mindfulness. So if you want to know about the courses, you want to know anything, you want to get free advice, you want to tell me what videos to make, I'm here at your service. Okay. I love you all. I will see you next week, same time, 8:30 p.m. And we'll do another training or we'll do a Q&A. We'll see. Okay. See you guys.